My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only, and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. It is Monday, June 30th, 2025, and third-party facilitating venue Starbucks is engaged in the same pattern of conduct. Demons pacing in and out of the bathroom at this early hour, maintaining surveillance and engineered light under the fake sun, and doing so while I'm being molested with impossible light. Jasmine is currently here gang stalking while that sex offense and ongoing domestic terror is underway. The entity is attacking with impossible light while I am uploading the updated podcast. It is currently, again, 6:28 a.m. This is P.O.C. Have a couple of new faces here engaged in the same pattern of conduct with regard to employees. You have construction and development, gang stalking. This is a Latino male engaging in surveillance in the bathroom, coming in and participating in psychological torture and molestation with impossible light. His co-defendants pace on Euclid Avenue while engineered light flies inside. Hold on. License plate 86418G2. That is RS
construction development. This is P.O.C. The fake sun is over the same venue where I captured it at 7:03 for you to see it. It's present already. I've captured it here before 6:30 a.m. Corey Watson is here gang stalking of the Ontario Police Department at 6:33 a.m. They're engaging in the sex offense of impossible light activity, molesting all over your person while the employees are pacing around. They're just gang stalking with barista aprons on. That's the only difference. There is no difference. This is the entity that's monitoring, engaging ongoing terrorism like they did for the entire 12-hour duration of the fake sun sitting over their venue. This is the P.O.C. Let me go ahead and give you the license plates of some of these demons that are in the parking lot that work here. License 9MHV520. You have one of these demons that think that they're clever. Looks like he powered on his vehicle from a distance. Oh no, he's sitting in it. License 8UDH628. License 8UQJ918, 9NEC243, 7THX757. These are the employees that are engaging in what is psychological torture, molesting and terrorizing with impossible light, like you've seen on video at more than one Starbucks. And that is a supernatural phenomenon that I'm capturing, and it's pursuant to the proof of what is criminal monitoring and surveillance. And Starbucks likes to engage in what is monitoring your genitalia. They like to stalk you on the inside of that cafe. They're stalking and monitoring you with the government. They're doing so while they center it around coffee that they're selling to the people of the state that are gang stalking with them. And they're demons that pace around and engineer light. That's what they're doing at 6:30 a.m. I'm going to prosecute these demons. You saw the psychopath Patty. She's here gang stalking with a disturbing grin on her face while she's standing in engineer light. License 9CFW254. And you have a heavy set female stuffed in a little bug. Looks like a Cooper vehicle. 8RJF784. Let me go ahead and confirm that license plate. You already know what Patty is doing. She's on video stalking in plain view under the fake sun and engineer light. 8PJF784, that's what she's doing with the people of the state that are going into the bathroom in relevant position behind me, stalking with impossible light. As is, hey Jasmine, pacing in and out of the bathroom with regard to stalking in the path. All right, this is what they're engaging with the patrons. So that demon that runs out to his truck and that construction vehicle, that is a third party engaging what is gang stalking. The entity knows exactly who I am. They're sharing and targeting conduct. This impossible light is not only relevant for prosecution for criminal monitoring, it is also relevant for what is the prosecution for domestic terrorism. The entity touching your person, molesting your person, surrounding you with this impossible light activity is also relevant for the molestation of the person and harassment, psychological torture, while all of the evidence of you being monitored is surrounding you and molesting you all over the place. And what they're actually doing is pacing like psychopaths. And this is what is centered around the business of Starbucks. They're headquartered in Seattle, and they're going to be prosecuted for gang stalking. It is currently, again, 6:33 a.m. The demon, the heavy set that's stuffed in the Cooper with the license plate I read, engages in an act of retaliation by impossible light activity that didn't occur before and now occurring. That's speaking to the impossible. It's not even sunlight. This is how passive-aggressive psychopaths engage in acts of violence, which is relevant to criminal monitoring. That is, again, relevant to the federal case for psychopaths who are stalking with light, which is demonic. That's psychopathic behavior. And you're seeing the Starbucks personnel, the employees engaging in that while they're selling products to the public while they're gang stalking you. It is, again, 6:33 a.m. This is mental illness unrevealed. Excuse me, this is mental illness revealed while the entity is gang stalking at 507 North Euclid Avenue under the fake sun. Okay, this is P.O.C. Ontario Police, you already know that they're gang stalkers. They're crossing path at Euclid and East Street while the demon is molesting with impossible light. That's Patty gang stalking, Elena gang stalking, the demons that are working at this Starbucks where the fake sun sits for 12 hours. They're all gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department. It is currently 6:34 a.m. This is P.O.C. at the venue of the Starbucks on the same Euclid Avenue and East Street. Again, this heavy set female, taking off as I get up. Her license plate again, molesting with impossible light. Reaches all the way into the corner because she wants to touch. This is P.O.C. threatening with Ontario Police. Let me show you her. It is currently, again, 6:34 a.m. This is P.O.C. And let me get you Ontario Police that's gang stalking with her. License plate 1706919, pulling up under the fake sun while the people of the state are harassing, molesting with impossible light, monitoring me, 1129, vehicle 1129. This is P.O.C. Let me show you. License 8PJF784, engaging in terrorism with Ontario Police. You'll see the license plate. This is the same heavyset Latina, it appears, that was gang stalking with Corey Watson at 6:33 a.m. under the fake sun and engineer light, moving all in through the cafe they were monitoring while they are in operation of their communication devices. They did that on video. And then you're mindful that the entity keeps the fake sun for 12 hours. That's Ontario Police, again, documented gang stalking with the people of the state at the Starbucks, where I'm documenting the ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct. The Ontario Police license plate is, let me get that for you. I just took a picture of it. License plate, vehicle number 1129. It looks like the same female that I've already documented that looked like her on video. That would be 1706919. At what is 6:35 a.m. and you'll see the fake sun shining right there. The entity has the fake sun in alignment to me at the Planet Fitness, where the entity is keeping the fake sun in alignment to me where I'm working out of the gym and the people of the state are stalking in the gym. The entity is engaging in what is keeping the fake sun in alignment to me at Alvarado Gardens, where LAPD is gang stalking in the specific environment, doing so pursuant to real-time knowledge of where you're at and what you're doing. And doing so in that specific environment, which is again shared with LAPD that's engaged in that targeting conduct. The entity is engaging in what is harassment. We've had impossible light while the demons pace inside of the same two demons, Corey Watson and his partner, molesting with impossible light as well with the people of the state. Okay, that's unnatural. It's impossible to occur. And this is the demonic activity that the Ontario Police Department is sharing. They're doing the same thing when they're flying in circles over me. That's also demonic as well while they're stalking. It is currently 6:37 p.m. This is P.O.C. These are the Corey Watson's going to federal prison. His obsession with me and following me around in the city of Ontario, like at the U.S. Bank, on video where the Ontario Police are flying in a helicopter over my head as I document the stalking conduct by the Ontario Police, and he's driving by, hi Erica, like a stalker. This is the demons that's coming in, engaging in the same pattern of conduct at the Starbucks, which is engaging in the elements of monitoring while they're engaging in what is centering it around the coffee drinks, where they're engaging in the P.O.C. It's 6:37. This is Ontario PD engaging in that ongoing harassment together with them. And this is the department that's being disbanded. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:37 a.m. Let me show you this. All right, I do want to document the Ontario Police Department engaging in surveillance in the same manner that the people of the state are. This is what the people of the state are doing vicariously on behalf of the people, on behalf of the city of Ontario, gang stalking, and doing so while they are engaging in the documented stalking with light conduct pursuant to criminal monitoring. So under the fake sun, as I'm documenting, it's currently 6:44 a.m., engaging in surveillance in the bathroom like a psychopath. That is the entity that's engaging in the P.O.C. monitoring with the police. That's Elena, that's just stalking in the men's restroom. As I begin documenting right now, she's crossing path and walking out. But these are psychopaths that are keeping their back to me, the Ontario Police. This is what all the people of the state are doing. You see them on video. You see the fake sun that sits over the venue for 12 hours. You see the impossible light that's inside of the venue, and the Ontario Police exhibiting the same mental illness with regard to the corruption that they engage in, and they engage in it passive aggressively, monitoring me while the employee is in the restroom surrounding, and the two demons of the Ontario Police, Corey Watson and his female partner, who you can see in the image captured with the fake sun right there in the background showing you criminal monitoring, and also a demon that's engaged in criminal monitoring. The Ontario Police are documented in the engineer light stalking in the path. They've been engaged in years of surveillance, which is the body of evidence revealing what is kidnapping while they're engaging in what is the system of federal group stalking monitoring, gang stalking. Gang stalking by a police department is what is requiring federal prison. Corey Watson's badge number is 80548. He is gang stalking as a pattern at this specific venue, but the Ontario Police Department is gang stalking on an ongoing basis on this same street where the fake sun is present at 6:02 p.m. and the Ontario Police that's monitoring me in the bathroom on this same street at the OVITT Family Community Library commences to flying in circles over my head in helicopter, where the Ontario Police are gang stalking on an ongoing basis. They're doing so right now with the same people of the state inside of the cafe, where they're stalking all day long with those people of the state, who are molesting and harassing with impossible light. As I document, a method of harassment is to gang stalk directly by that corrupt police department, which is the basis of federal prison. I've already captured these two demons under the 6:33 a.m. fake sun, and you saw it sit here until 5:59 p.m. yesterday, and they're engaging in the pattern of conduct as you witnessed that. This is the disbanding of that Ontario police, who are obsessively monitoring my vagina. This is what Corey Watson and his female partner are doing, is they represent the gang stalkers of the Ontario police, who are engaged in what is focusing on me while they purchase a drink from Starbucks, the corrupt third party that is engaged in surveillance in the bathrooms. They're engaged in surveillance with the people of the state that are demons crossing paths, stalking with light inside of the venue, which is what's going on while Ontario police is stalking inside of the cafe. And they're engaged in that pattern of conduct together under the fake sun in the engineered light. Again, that is the license plate that I documented. And I'm going to repeat that. This is Corey Watson, who you saw under the fake sun during the 9 a.m. hour when the Ontario police were engaged in criminal summoning at the Unicare Healthcare Center. And then when I go to the U.S. Bank at 333 North Euclid Avenue at what is approximately 9:40 a.m. and the entity flies over my head by helicopter while that fake sun did not remain over this cafe. And it's also over me in Los Angeles, where LAPD is sharing that pattern of conduct, by the way. And the entity is crossing paths by, again, Corey Watson. The evidence of the specific environment following me is the evidence of an entity following me, which includes Corey Watson, who was on video following from place to place as an individual that's a part of that entity gang stalking, aware of what it is that I'm documenting, in the same way that they're present, engaging in the P.O.C. And this is supposed to be a means of harassment while I'm documenting the sex offenders who are gang stalking with this corrupt police department. They're coming in, engaging in that P.O.C., arriving while I'm walking out to get this license plate of this hefty gang stalker who cannot fit inside of her Fiat while she's molesting me targeting me with light that's reaching across the cafe as she opens the door. That's a passive aggressive demon who's seeking to engage in what is some sort of violence while she's monitoring, and she's mad because she's fat. That's literally the long and short of that. But she is fat. She's gang stalking. It's a means of identifying her and her license plate. She's getting out of the venue. She's getting it out of her vehicle, which is pacing, while she's merely purchasing a drink under the fake sun gang stalking. And Ontario police, who are tracking my steps, monitoring, stalking with them, are pulling up, which is the stalking in the path conduct, the meeting behavior by demons. They're bearing the logo Ontario Police Department. That's why they're being disbanded for repeatedly kidnapping upon gang stalking me. They're doing this while I'm documenting, again, that third party and all of the employees inside, including Elena, who's engaging in what is stalking by remaining in the path inside of the restroom here, which all of the demons are doing. They come and they go straight to the bathroom. The entity is engaging in what is crossing in path while do that demonic pacing inside of the cafe, in the same way that it's demonic pacing on Euclid Avenue, where the impossible occurrence of light is flying inside all along the walls, where the employees and the patrons, that include the Ontario Police Department, to come in and gang stalk me. Okay, this is happening after a day of what is very damning evidence of the Starbucks company engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, which I've already proven. But a day of showing you that the Los Angeles PD is under the fake sun at 1:08 p.m., the same time where the Ontario Police Department are under the fake sun at the OVITT Family Community Library, is a day of damning evidence, speaking to what is corruption, speaking to what is demon possession, and what is the evidence of what is federal stalking, criminal monitoring. The entity is engaging in this after a day of documenting the fake sun that remains over the Starbucks cafe at 507 North Euclid Avenue, and the entity is arriving and by arriving, I mean the Ontario police are gang stalking, the city of Ontario is gang stalking ceaselessly as I'm documenting that. The entity is doing so by being at the cafe, which is a passive-aggressive means by cowards who are obsessed with my vagina to gang stalk right in your face. And this is the same unlawful threat that the gang stalkers of the Ontario police pose at the OVITT Family Community Library at 1:07 p.m., where that fake sun remains over Starbucks at 1:07 p.m. And that fake sun, as I'm documenting, is remaining over me as you're identifying all those who are targeting together. This is what the Starbucks cafe, the Starbucks employees, and the city of Ontario, in other words, which includes the Ontario Police Department that's to be disbanded. I want to be clear, this is the conduct of Tracy Banks. Tracy Banks is summoning the Ontario Police Department. Jason Isaac Fields, her sex partner, that's the same age as me. She's having sex with somebody that's the age of her son, Eric Corey Spencer, who's also a gang stalker. Engaging in summoning the gang stalkers of the Ontario Police Department is that which Tracy Banks did on May 29, 2025, with the intent to engage in what is the federal offense of criminal defamation, where she's maintaining a secret conservatorship where these felons, these gang stalkers of the Ontario Police who are inside of this cafe are engaging in the pattern of conduct with the intent and in failure of engaging in what is the illusion, artificially trying to engineer some sort of manifestation of mental illness when you're gang stalking someone. Gang stalking somebody while stalking with light does not make any target individual mentally ill. The entity engages in demonic behaviors as the Ontario Police Department and the people of the state exhibit, and they're going to be diagnosed and prosecuted for that malicious pattern of trying to target someone. The entity stalking as a group, as a citywide effort using all levels of government, and the entity that's engaging in targeting together, as the fake sun proves, that is under no circumstances ever going to reflect on the character of any target individual, nor does it myself, as I'm documenting the body of evidence showing the environment where the Los Angeles Police Department and the Ontario Police Department, amongst a plethora of other sheriff's departments and police departments, are gang stalking under a fake sun that's over me while they engage in the hallmark of targeting using helicopters. This is the same pattern of conduct that the Ontario Police are engaging in, including while they're present, engaging in that P.O.C. as, again, a threatening means of engaging in the P.O.C. where the police are gang stalking while they're bearing weapons, while they're engaging even in the psychopathic and passive-aggressive method of stalking in the path while being in the cafe. The entity has no warrant or probable cause. The entity does not have to talk to you to engage in the gang stalking system. The entity is engaging in surveillance in real time with the people and with the demons that are bearing weapons and representing a corrupt law enforcement agency. They don't have to talk to you. This is what the Ontario Police Department is doing at 1:07 in the afternoon when I'm walking to the OVITT Family Community Library and that fake sun remains over me en route to that library. This is the significance of what I documented yesterday when I remain at this cafe where the sun would not still be present 12 hours later after the demons of the Ontario Police Department get in their vehicle and cross path gang stalking in doing so as they depart from this venue where the fake sun remains because they're stalking as an entity. The entity is engaging in this pursuant to real-time knowledge of everything that I'm documenting, an unlawful threat while I'm documenting the people of the state, which is relevant as with regard to federal prison for this overweight demon inside of this Fiat under the fake sun molesting and targeting with impossible light while she's monitoring with the police that are gang stalking in a relevant position and a previously documented kidnapper, Corey Watson, badge number 80548. This is the entity that's engaged in targeting together at 6:53 a.m. Tracy Banks summoning the Ontario Police Department pursuant to malicious assertions, pursuant to issues and topics that are literally farcical, that don't exist. The one that suffers from mental illness is shown to be Tracy Banks, and this is why she is going to federal prison because of her co-defendant that she criminally summoned on May 29th, and that includes Nathan Morgan, C. Torres, L. Martinez, and B. Hook, who are gang stalking just like the demons are of the Ontario Police Department every time that I'm encountering them in the specific environment where they're engaged in the pattern of conduct. They're doing that with the people of the state, and engaging in kidnapping on May 29th is in pursuit of that ongoing pattern of conduct, which again, the Ontario Police are proven to be stalking, and they are not any sort of evidence substantiating the entity's purpose in seeking to try to manufacture mental illness when I'm documenting and have been documenting for years, even before I knew that Tracy Banks had a secret conservatorship criminally and fraudulently procured with the aid of corrupt actors like the Ontario Police who have repeatedly engaged in kidnapping upon making up information. This is what Corey Watson did, stating that I'm molesting a child while he's stalking under the fake sun that's over the OVITT Family Community Library, which you saw yesterday, went nowhere near the OVITT Family Community Library when I remain inside of this venue where they are gang stalking right now with the intent to criminally threaten. This is why he is going to federal prison, and so is his chubby partner that's gang stalking as well. They're both bearing weapons. They're both representing a corrupt police department that has a pattern of kidnapping and harassment and making up information regarding molesting a child. That's what they stated on June 16, 2022, and the entity is doing so while I documented every single thing that happened on that morning, including the entity gang stalking by helicopter, doing so under the fake sun at 10:29 a.m., and there is no such natural environment which is relevant to criminal monitoring by demons who are seeking to falsely depict the character of an American citizen that they're targeting, seeking to derive a benefit from. The entity is engaging in gang stalking with Tracy Banks, who is summoning these gang stalkers, this corrupt department that's filling the evidence against the state of California with criminal monitoring, surveillance, while they have lost what is the entity's purpose of trying to steal through criminal defamation. That's the significance of being present while I'm documenting. That's the significance of being present in literally the crime scene. This is the significance of being present when you know that you're also being documented, and that documentation is damning. The entity does not have any legitimate stance in any federal court, and that's where I'm going to prosecute this department that's being disbanded, and that's going to prosecute third parties like Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks is communicating a threat, gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department. This is exactly what the OVITT Family Community Library is doing at 1:07 p.m. while I document them. And it's very damning evidence, and the demons of the Ontario Police are standing in a circle while the fake sun remains hands over me as I approach them in the specific environment where they are tracking my steps, the demons who are the people of the state, stalking step by step while I'm en route to that venue, and they're doing so in the effort to communicate a threat. So I want to make sure that that is understood. The people of the state that are gang stalking, that includes Elena, these psychopaths stalking in bathrooms, stalking with impossible light activity, while the entity comes and engages in surveillance directly. The people of the state are gang stalking with this corrupt police department under the fake sun that set over the building for 12 hours. So then the demons themselves, the Ontario police, come and partake in the pattern of conduct right in your face, which is an impermissible threat that no gang stalking police department is going to pose to an American citizen. But this is what they're doing. Starbucks, the corporation, but also Patty, Elena, Jasmine, and the third parties that are employed here. This other one, he's not a G at all, but he goes by the acronym G. But that is, he's a weenie. He's not a G. He's a stalker. He engages in stalking in the bathroom, and he's actually a coward. He doesn't want to tell his whole name, but I don't need his whole government name. I have his workplace. I have his license plate. I have his image. And I have his criminal conduct, and he's going to be prosecuted as well for gang stalking and threatening with the intent to obstruct justice by virtue of the gang stalker, the Ontario police, the kidnapper, the one that's stalking me day and night and monitoring my vagina, and then engaging in terrorism via helicopter as I publish it onto the internet, as I publish it and document it on my devices. Okay, that's the department that's sitting in relevant position in the engineer life. Okay, that's again license plate. It is Corey Watson. And the pattern of conduct, remember, he's here 3 hours later where the sun is still here at 9:16 in the morning. And he is also gang stalking under the fake sun at 10:29 a.m. where I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm juxtaposing that documented criminal act with the maintenance of the fake sun where LAPD is targeting me at Alvarado Gardens, which is revealing what is not the natural environment at the same time of year, at the same time, even on the same day. The entity, again, the sun is never going to sit over one building like I'm documenting at Starbucks. So this is relevant to the entity's tactics, and they engage in the same cycle because they're unintelligent in their entire system I have already laid out. So they repeat the same tired tactics that are putting people in prison, including themselves. Okay, this is the pattern though. Tracy Banks and her sex partner, Jason Isaac Fields, are subject to federal prison because this is what they're soliciting. When you have a secret marriage to a targeted individual, a fraudulent marriage that I don't even know anything about, I didn't consent to, I didn't participate in it. I've never been married and I've never had any kids, nor would I ever have any voluntary relations with this predator, this living zombie, Jason Isaac Fields, who has sex with men and women for any price. This is a demon that's gang stalking, targeting me as the people of the state, doing so with his sex partner, Tracy Banks, who has a secret conservatorship, which is incentivizing gang stalking by the people and incentivizing gang stalking by the Ontario Police Department, which is what the LAPD, it's the state of California. This is why LAPD and the Orange County Sheriff's Department, Costa Mesa Police Department, as I'm documenting the Pasadena Police, Arcadia, Monrovia Police Department, as I'm documenting Kern County Sheriff's Department, as I'm documenting the entity that's gang stalking me, and San Diego County, the San Diego Police Department, all sharing the specific environment. The fake sun over the top of my head, they're engaging in the P.O.C. And the demons enter inside of this cafe, threatening me with Patty, threatening me with Elena, threatening me with Jasmine, threatening me with the defendants of Starbucks, the employees and the corporation are threatening together. So I just want to make sure that that's abundantly clear. I want to articulate that in the podcast. This is going to be published for today. The entity is engaging in documentation that is very damning. It's going to be the prosecution of the people of the state Starbucks. And you're also going to prosecute those demons who are working for the cafe, gang stalking as a way of making a paycheck while they're preparing drinks in Engineer Light, while you're being molested and terrorized, and they're doing so pursuant to criminal monitoring. And then the next day after you publish that very damning evidence, the demons whom they're gang stalking with come and participate in it, which is the passive aggressive psychopathic means of threatening somebody. The entity is doing this under the 1:07 p.m. fake sun. We're on the same street at Euclid Avenue. The sun is not going to be on the same street. As you compare Corey Watson and his partner gang stalking at 6:44 a.m. and the Ontario Police Department gang stalking at the OVITT Family Community Library at 1:07 p.m. where the fake sun is on the same street over me in alignment to me, which is not the natural environment. In Florida, again, is never going to be in the natural environment where a sun is over them, where the Ontario police are stalking me under it as I document the maintenance of that sun within 0.4 miles of one another. It runs north and south, so the sun's not going any direction, east or west. It's remaining over the top of my head and also setting at these two venues, OVITT Family Community Library and the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. This is where these high school graduates are gang stalking, okay? High school graduates that are inclined to unethical and unconstitutional criminal conduct. That's exactly why they're being removed from law enforcement and being disbanded as a kidnapping, gang stalking, sex offender, which is being misconstrued as some law enforcement agency. They're not law enforcement. They're in here stalking me, bearing weapons. They're going to be removed from law enforcement. It's currently 7 a.m. and the entity is gang stalking in real time with the Ontario Police Department. It's currently 7:01 a.m. under the fake sun. This is P.O.C. All right, gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department is third party driving a sky blue. What type of vehicle is? Let me get the license plate though. Stalking with the powerful light, pacing in and out, the same engineer light, the same P.O.C. Sunlight is not going to reach inside of the depths of a cafe to molest your person. License 8NBL337. And again, the license plate of Ontario Police, another demon, and behind Corey Watson, they have two vehicles, license 1706919. That's the female that you see, Corey Watson's vehicle, which he left the lights on pursuant to criminal monitoring while they're stalking in the path, and they're gang stalking with the Ontario Fire Department. That's crossing path on what would be F Street. Gang stalking. All right, this is P.O.C. All right, Omnitrans, an African-American female coming in and participating in the pattern of conduct with the Ontario Police, crossing path at 7:03 a.m. She stops the Omnitrans bus and runs off. She's pacing in the engineer light. She's engaging in criminal monitoring while operating the Omnitrans bus. Omnitrans is relevant to, again, Alan D. WAPNER's criminal engagement in the P.O.C., gang stalking with commercial planes. It is currently 7:03 a.m. where Omnitrans Route 83 is engaging. They're systematically gang stalking. They're crossing paths on Euclid Avenue all day long, monitoring under a fake sun that remains over this venue. And I'm documenting the pattern of conduct while aboard Omnitrans that keeps a fake sun in the window of that bus, which is relevant to the direct opposite of what they're doing at Starbucks. Vehicle 2358, this African-American female gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department, license plate 1545806. This is P.O.C. All right, she is monitoring with the Ontario Police, and it's understanding the entity that is targeting with regard to the specific environment. That's why you have a whole supernatural set environment there for the pacing purposes of what are the demons that are engaging in surveillance. So I want to be clear, the entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct. Omnitrans crosses path, and you see that fake sun, it's still remaining in alignment to me at the cafe. When I'm on Omnitrans, the bus, the fake sun is moving in real time while I'm on that bus, the entirety of the route. Omnitrans is a third party that's engaging in the pattern of conduct with the Ontario Police Department while that black-faced demon runs in to pick up a drink in order to gang stalk. Omnitrans is always gang stalking. There's a wealth of documentation, monitoring is underway on the Omnitrans bus, which I've been documenting for years as well. And you're clearly seeing that pattern of conduct with the Ontario Police, who are coming in and engaging in the pattern of conduct for you to witness what the people of the state are doing on an ongoing basis under an enduring fake sun that sits over the building for 12 hours when they're sitting in the cafe engaging in that conduct right in front of your face. This is what the demons are doing vicariously. Nonetheless, you're seeing them engage in that directly and vicariously at the Starbucks together in engineer light, being demons of the same condition, the same psychopathic personality disorder, okay? The entity's engaging in this while they are monitoring together, and what you'll see is that the fake sun stays here. The fake sun does not leave like it is when I'm on Omnitrans, and that fake sun is moving as the bus moves, every turn, every street, from the destination where I am ultimately arriving to the place where I get on that bus. And that's, again, why it's documented, because that's the pattern of conduct underway on the third-party facility and venue Omnitrans. That is gang stalking. It is currently 7:06 a.m. You'll see that African-American female, and that's the license plate and bus number of Omnitrans, what that entire business is doing. They're systematically engaging in the P.O.C., including while I remain at the venue, and as they are engaging what is their route on it throughout the day, they're systematically monitoring. It's 7:06 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, I am doing screenshots so you can see Omnitrans is gang stalking with the Ontario Police. This is always the case. So the Ontario Police are just here providing you a visual of what they're engaging in on an ongoing basis. It's the significance of a sun sitting over the building for 12 hours. This is criminal monitoring that the government is engaging in, and it's sexual violence that the government is engaging in. Corey Watson has no legitimate interest in monitoring my vagina in the bathroom, but he is, and so is the Ontario Police Department that's engaging in surveillance in places like bathrooms. That's the significance of a fake sun sitting over over the venue where I'm located like it does over Starbucks for 12 hours, like I documented from 7 until 5:59 p.m. There is no getting around the circus environment where the police just arrive for you to see them again, engaging in the demonic pattern of conduct, which is criminal, and it's relevant to what is the unlawful threat by the entity that is gang stalking. The heavy documentation of stalking by helicopter in the specific environment as well is also relevant to the delusional mindset and the heavily corrupt the heavily corrupt tactics of the entity that's witnessing its exposure as I publish it on the internet, and then engaging in the pattern of conduct the next day with the police directly, all right? They're engaging in that P.O.C. with knowledge of the fact that it is being published online for the prosecution in the state of California. You're looking at what is relevant positioning, you're looking at what is the ongoing elements of monitoring while the police are in the venue, are at the venue, in the face of the target individual, monitoring, engaging in that pattern of conduct with the demons who are sharing in that passive-aggressive, psychopathic circus environment where they're monitoring all together, okay? The fake sun, the same exact engineer light conduct, the same exact satanic means of surrounding wherever it is that I move inside of the venue. The demons are pacing around with regard to surrounding. They're doing it while merely the Ontario police are here engaging in it, and they are psychopaths engaging in that pattern of conduct, which you know. I have the body of evidence of pacing in helicopters. These are mentally ill people stalking in things like helicopters and in airplanes. These are mentally ill people creeping in the middle of the night with engineered light, stalking in police vehicles, pacing all around, engaging in what is criminal summoning as a demon that's in operation of an emergency vehicle or a police vehicle, are stalking while they're using the police lights and the sirens. This is demonic activity while they're engaging the P.O.C. of criminal monitor, which is federal group stalking monitor, gang stalking. All right. This is, again, evidence. Jason Isaac Fields is going to federal prison. And so is his sex partner, Tracy Banks. He's having sex with somebody as old to be his grandma, and they're both engaged in what is conspiring with the state that uses gang stalking to steal from American citizens. They use gang stalking to falsely depict the character of American citizens. They do so in order to engage in what is criminal defamation, which results in what is essentially kidnapping, where the entity is engaging with falsely depicting your character while they're targeting the whole time. The evidence of targeting is directly rebutting what is all illegitimate and unlawful. A secret conservatorship that's procured outside of the bounds of the law. You're doing it without the knowledge and consent of the person whom you claim you want to have a conservatorship over. And the entity is doing so over property that was never told belongs to me. It's invalid at the outset, and the entity is still engaging in that criminal monitoring, and they already have unclean hands, and that is also not going to result in any successful endeavor in court. This is what is going to put Tracy Banks and her sex partner, Jason Isaac Fields, in federal prison. This is the entity that is gang stalking for that unlawful purpose, which they are not successful in, and they are also gang stalking pursuant to what is the ongoing surveillance and revealing that system, which is what I've done. So they're not only, in other words, have not only lost that, and they've also lost the whole purpose of gangs. It's supposed to be a secret. It's not a secret. And not only that, the entity is gang stalking and showing their mania, showing their wacky, Looney Tune, sick mind states while they engage in that pattern of conduct, and doing so with the straight face under the fake sun and an engineer light, doing so wearing any kind of uniform, including the Ontario Police Department that's entirely illegitimate, doing so in the face of the evidence that's going to speak volumes while you sit there gang stalking in silence. It doesn't matter what your posture is. It's going, well, I will use against you what you say and do, however, but it doesn't matter. You can sit there with a smile on your face like the demons Corey Watson and his partner are doing. These are psychopaths that are gang stalking in an entirely demonic environment. The sun will never sit over one building for 12 hours, and the evidence of the specific environment is superseding what the entity is relying on, that you look at their facial expressions, that you look at the entity that's conversing with each other, that you look at the fact that they're buying coffee at Starbucks, that you look at the fact that nobody's saying anything to the target individual, nor do they have to. They're engaging in all of the elements of monitoring in that supernatural environment, which is shared as a pattern of conduct, as you recognize it. It's shared by multiple cities and law enforcement agencies that are engaging in that element of what is stalking in that specific environment, okay? Sunlight is never ricocheting off of your car when you're driving by. And that's not anything that's just coming out of my mouth. That is video evidence. That is also consistently documented. None of that is being overlooked or ignored. None of it is rebutted by a bunch of psychopaths that are obsessively stalking in what is an already lost endeavor. Not only not taking my property and my money, but they're also losing the appearance of normalcy. The entire city is exposed, which I'm going to prosecute the state, because you're witnessing mental illness, psychopathic conduct, and delusional behaviors when the entity is fully exposed. That's what's relevant here. And it's an unlawful threat, because you're going to prosecute psychopaths that engage in this delusional behavior, where you are documenting a government that's targeting you, and then those delusional psychopaths are still doing so, and you're not even going to win your so-called prize. They're not getting any of my money. The entity is entirely sick and surrounded with evidence of targeting in unprecedented manners, in which is putting the sex couple, Tracy Banks, these two demons, relying on sex rituals, relying on summoning demonic spirits, which the demon-possessed are gang stalking pursuant to what is a feckless effort at their witchcraft practicing and their demonic targeting system, all of which is captured in evidence that the whole world can witness. The entity stalking under the fake sun, that's demonic. And that's what the Ontario Police Department are engaging in. The entity stalking with impossible light, that's demonic. And the Ontario Police Department is here engaging in that, and they've done it on video. I've documented these demons crossing path and impossible light coming backwards toward me when your vehicle is in front. That's entirely demonic, and it shows who that demon-possessed person is targeting, not only by virtue of the fake sun, but by virtue of that impossible light. Thousands of people who are the people of the state gang stalking me at Starbucks engaging in the same exact P.O.C. It is demonic activity and it's criminal surveillance. It's ongoing at 7:15 a.m. The entity has the ongoing maintenance of this light source. So the entities that's maintaining this fake sun in the presence of the Ontario Police is relevant, which is what I want to document. It's relevant to the unlawful threat. It's relevant to the entity that is hostile, and it's relevant to the entity that is delusional while they're engaging in this criminal conduct, which is documented, being put on the internet, also for prosecuting publicly, but I'm also going to prosecute in court. And they're engaging in this when they are essentially embarrassed, when they look like the demons that they are, and when they're exposed as the criminals that they are, who have zero legitimacy in no court. They're not stepping in any court with any legitimate stance. And the entity is engaging in this. This is at the under the corrupt leadership of Paul Leon. This is under the corrupt leadership of what is Michael GERKEN and Mike LORENZ, a bunch of demons gang stalking as the city of Ontario, and they lost their bed. These are a bunch of inept demons who are inferior, and they are also intellectually inferior. The entity is surrounded by a pattern of conduct that's absolutely absurd, it's ridiculous, and it's idiotic. It's very plain and obvious, while a bunch of psychopaths who are passive-aggressive while they're targeting you because they don't want you to know that they're obsessed with you, okay? And that obsession is shown through that specific environment, through touching me with light that's manifesting out of nowhere. And this is how you prove that, because the entity's sick pattern of conduct is supposed to falsely depict the character of another person, and that's absurd as well. When you're documenting a stalker, that stalker's mental illness reflects poorly on them while they're stalking you. And that's putting everything in its proper perspective. These are the demons that Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields summoned pursuant to criminal defamation, gang stalking with the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, which is the entity that engaged in this pattern of conduct inside of the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center as well, seeking to artificially engineer mental illness, which is never going to work. And it's an ongoing criminal pattern of conduct pursuant to the gang stalking conduct of the Ontario Police and Tracy Banks. This is why those two are going to federal prison, amongst others that are targeting with the Ontario Police, like Jasmine and Patty, who mental examinations are built into a federal prosecution. Stalking with light is the outward demonstration of severe mental instability. The entity is engaging in what is behavioral issues, this very peculiar and demented behavior with this light, while you're acting as though you're doing something else, like it's not happening, that's very disturbing conduct, where you're engaged in criminal conduct, which is entirely malicious. You're monitoring somebody, and your outward demeanor is supposed to reflect that you're doing something else that's psychopathic, it's malicious, and it's the outward demonstration of mental illness, which is shared by the Ontario Police Department as well. It's 7:18 a.m. This is documentation of the entity's engagement in that P.O.C. with the intent to obstruct justice. Jason Isaac Fields is subject to federal prison. And so is Tracy Banks, his sex partner. It's 7:18 a.m. at 507 North Euclid Avenue, where the fake sun's in alignment to me, as opposed to everybody else that's crossing path under that fake sun as it remains stationary, just like I documented at 6 p.m. yesterday, which is 11 hours from now, where the Ontario Police are gang stalking inside of the cafe because I'm embarrassing the demon-possessed who are stalking under a fake sun, which is direct evidence of criminal surveillance. P.O.C. All right, the people of the state gang stalking and engaging in what is terrorism with impossible light, while Patty and Jasmine, Starbucks a corporation, this so-called wannabe G, he calls himself G, he doesn't have his, I documented his license plate. He's driving the gray Kia K5, SIRSCAT, impossible light activity, while the gang stalkers that are employed at the venue are engaging in molestation and terrorism, harassment with impossible light while they're monitoring, which is what they were engaging in with the Ontario Police Department, who entered into the venue just to punctuate the threat that the Starbucks company and the Starbucks employees are intentionally posing together, while they engage in what is worshiping me, while they're pacing all around me, engaging in what is monitoring me, monitoring my evidence about them, which is again the entity that is soliciting eliciting attention, negative attention to prosecute them, but it is nonetheless attention based on their obsession with me. The fake sun and the engineered light is relevant to what this third party is doing, which is exactly what every other third party is doing. The pattern, which you'll recognize through my images that I'm capturing, the demons who are license plate SIRSCAT, and the demon that is gang stalking, as I'm documenting the Ontario police who are stalking in the path, monitoring me as well, license 8PJF784, engaging in what is stalking, terrorizing, harassing with this impossible light activity, this demonic environment that they're terrorizing with while they're all monitoring and coming in to buy drinks in order to gang stalk me. They're doing so also while I'm documenting. So this heavy-set, dark-skinned female with a high top bun, she's gang stalking in relevant position. You'll see her sitting in the engineered light. You'll see the fake sun that remains over me as I document her. And then again, as I document her, this demon exits the venue. This is all a federal offense. The entity is pacing in and out, and Starbucks' business is embedded in the criminal pattern of conduct. So they're coming in, purchasing a drink, and the same pattern of conduct is underway. So she's in the environment, and they're all aware that I'm documenting. And this awareness is based on the fact that they're engaged in what is targeting in a supernatural manner, because light doesn't shoot backwards into the cafe and touch my person. And they're all engaged in the same supernatural pattern of conduct, which I've captured psychopaths like Patty engaging in. The lights reaching even farther while they're engaging in what is attacking me, while their terrorism is a matter of public information to prosecute every sex offender that is also monitoring my vagina. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is molesting me, attacking with engineered light. That's a federal offense. It's relevant to harassment by the government, terrorism by the government, criminal monitoring by the government, which Patty and Jasmine are engaging in. Jasmine is being a sex offender, stalking in the bathroom while the Ontario police cross path in helicopter, and third party SIRSCAT is engaging in what is terrorism with impossible light, touching me with this light, which is an unlawful touching pursuant to the intent to obstruct justice, because I'm documenting her gang stalking. She's gang stalking me in furtherance of murder and kidnapping with the police who came into the venue to threaten me, along with Jasmine and Patty, who are gang stalking. All of them, again, embarrassed and also prosecuted with regard to the evidence of the sun sitting over this same cafe for 12 hours, like I documented yesterday. The entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct of violence, even with this engineer light where they're monitoring you, and they're exhibiting severe mental illness. The demon possessed engage in this flinging of light conduct because they're a bunch of hostile psychopaths whose secret conduct of stalking with light, which is entirely demonic. They have, again, wacky mindsets. This is sick behavior that is entirely peculiar and demented while they engage in this passive aggressive, I'm not going to look at you while I'm stalking you. I'm not going to look at you while I'm monitoring you. I'm not going to look at you or address you while I'm attacking you with engineered light that's appearing out of nowhere and has nothing to do with opening and closing a door. And the sun is never, even the fake sun that sits over the venue for 12 hours, not the cause for light that's shooting inside and outside. As you can see my shadow on the sidewalk outside, they're stalking in the path in engineered light while they are systematically pacing in and out. Okay, Ontario Police is crossing path with the entity that's gang stalking, license SIRSCAT. She is gang stalking and engaging in what is a documented act of violence as an entity, terrorism with engineered light while she's monitoring with the Ontario Police that entered into the venue today, as I documented. The entity is, this is relevant to being placed in mental asylums in the same way that Ontario Police are being placed in mental asylums while they exhibit mental illness by stalking me in helicopters and flying in circles around me all over the city while they're stalking me day and night in helicopters. The entity is acting in concert with that police department that's under the same fake sun, stalking in the path while they're molesting with impossible light, keeping their back to me while they're stalking me. This is the entity that's exhibiting their severe mental illness, and it's on full display for all of the world to witness what the demon-possessed do, how they engage in criminal monitoring, how they are entirely deranged in doing so, and this is closeted mental illness, which needs to be exposed because it is a national safety concern. 506 North Euclid Avenue is Chevron. They're stalking in the path. The demon is keeping their foot on the brakes. What's the method of stalking with light across the street, relevant positioning, light activity, and this is while Ontario Police is crossing path, as I've been documenting. The Ontario Police Department is being stalking by helicopter. Inside of the cafe they're pacing, Euclid Avenue they're pacing, and the entity is stalking in the path as Chevron is engaging in that P.O.C. as well. And so is 434 North Euclid Avenue. That's the ARCO engaging in the pattern of conduct, and like I documented last night, as Vince, just like Jasmine is doing, pacing, crossing path, doing so by going into a bathroom where they're engaging in surveillance. That's mental illness that's being addressed in your criminal prosecution for monitoring. But nonetheless, the entity is pacing in and out of the bathroom. And Chevron and Arco are a means of stalking with a possible light, like I documented last night. Nobody's headlights across the street are going to be any sort of bright method of light activity that's piercing through, just like when they're driving on the street. Sunlight is not ricocheting off of the sides of their cars, shooting inside of this venue. And this is an obvious engagement in the pattern of conduct. There's nothing hidden or speaking to my inability to prove that you're being targeted with light that is supernaturally occurring. It's already proven and it's on the record. And the entity is exhibiting mental illness while they replicate very damning evidence. And it's damning based on its supernatural character and the obvious means of targeting through supernatural behavior, which I've documented as a pattern of conduct. The entity is doing so with the Ontario Police, who are demons as well. All right, the entity is engaging in this, again, harassing, attacking, terrorizing with impossible light. This is a pattern of conduct by sex offenders. They're all monitoring and worshiping my vagina as well. These are sex offenders, and they go by the name of Patty, Jasmine, quote unquote G, and the new faces. The entity knows that I'm documenting the people that stayed at Starbucks by name, and it's not changing. Every single employee will be prosecuted. This is a facilitating venue. Everybody working at this venue is being prosecuted, from Ocean all the way down to whatever demon is sweeping the floor on shift. They're gang stalking, and they're together engaging in what is violence pursuant to the intent to obstruct justice, while that psychologically harmful act of molesting with impossible light while you're a demon, engaging in criminal monitoring evident through impossible light, and that impossibility is speaking to your mental illness. You're a freak of nature, a hollowed out zombie that's obsessively stalking me, with a police department, which is putting you at risk for federal prison, specifically a mental asylum, while they like to stalk with light, okay? People who are mentally deranged are engaging in this, and this is what the entity is doing while they're walking in it, back and forth, while they're working amongst that environment, while they're creating the drinks and the engineer light is above all their heads. Those are all the demons that are engaged in monitoring at 507 North Euclid Avenue. It's currently 8:57 a.m. This is the entity that is, again, mentally deranged. They're psychopaths who are hostile to being exposed. That's, again, license plate SIRSCAT. Engaging in violence as an entity. Starbucks is engaging in psychological torture. Starbucks is engaged in the sex offensive molestation via engineer light. Starbucks is engaged in criminal monitoring under Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2, federal stalking, monitoring my devices, engaging in harassment and terrorism as I document the corporation gang stalking with the city of Ontario. Okay, failing in falsely depicting I am the federal prosecutor, the whistleblowers, character. They're exposing their mental illness while they're stalking under a fake sun. Their mental illness is put at the forefront in the controversy regarding their prosecution. While they're stalking with impossible light, their mental illness is put at the forefront of their criminal prosecution. While they're gang stalking and doing so while you're preparing coffee drinks, this is supposed to be the malice whereby you're never supposed to suspect. It's entirely unintelligent, and it's literally sick behavior. It's demented, and it's creepy, weird behavior that's criminal. Okay, the government is gang stalking through this demented behavior. The government is gang stalking by stalking in a helicopter as I document demons who are psychopaths stalking with light. Guess what? Those demons stalking in a helicopter are demons stalking with light as well. All right, it's currently 8:58 a.m. where Starbucks is threatening with the Ontario Police Department that came into the cafe with a documented kidnapper. That's Corey Watson. That's Patty and Jasmine, who are threatening my life and safety while they're pacing all around me in the engineer light monitoring, while they are monitoring me with the demons that are pacing in and out of the cafe, molesting and harassing and terrorizing me with impossible light as acts of violence because I'm documenting them. And they know that because they're engaged in surveillance, and that immediate act of violence, which is supernaturally occurring, is also relevant to your surveillance on my devices, on the internet, with the entity. Your presence all under the fake sun is relevant to that as well. These are the delusional psychopaths who are going to be subject to diagnoses and prosecutions for criminal activity. Okay, it is currently 8:59 a.m. This is P.O.C. Surveillance in a bathroom, like the Starbucks employees and the Starbucks patrons that they engage in. This is going to be relevant to diagnosing mental examinations with regard to the threat that they pose to themselves and each other as they practice such demented behaviors in order to target an American citizen, target a person whom they don't know, have no relationship with me, and they are engaging in what is that pattern of conduct, and they're also understand with regard to the bigger picture, this entity is also not stealing any of my personal, real, or intellectual property. They're doing this as an obsessed, demon-possessed entity that's delusional and still continuing in that which they cannot successfully achieve in court, and let alone with regard to the demonic sacrifices that they've made while they've been engaging in witchcraft and summoning demonic spirits that are going to attack them while they're engaging gang stalking me. And I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because that's a very real consequence. Okay, it is currently 9 a.m. This is P.O.C. at 507 North Euclid Avenue. P.O.C. This is what Ontario police are engaging in while they're sitting. You see them cheesing from ear to ear. Pay attention to that fake sun that they're waving at me at. That's the entity engaging in what is documented psychological torture, harassing and threatening you in your face and doing so with a smile on your face. That's called malice. They're stalking by helicopter under this fake sun. They're stalking with impossible light with SIRSCAT while the entity comes in and exhibits mental illness, keeping their back to me, chit-chatting over coffee, gang stalking at the cafe, in other words, while they are all malicious psychopaths gang stalking together. That's what you're going to be mindful of while they're engaged in federal stalking under Title 18. They're engaged in what's going to be prosecuted as sexual violence, what's going to be prosecuted as psychological torture, what's going to be prosecuted as ongoing harassment and terrorism with the intent to obstruct justice as a corrupt entity is exposed for what is a fact, which is gang stalking, referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, it's currently 9:01 a.m. where the entity is still gang stalking with impossible light. And while you're gang stalking and collecting a paycheck from your employer, that employer is going to be prosecuted and you're going to be prosecuted. It's relevant for federal prison, by the way. It's 9:01 a.m. This is P.O.C. Right, license 9MHV520, 9EKV470, 8CEF557, 7HIP770, 9NEC243, JTS9919, that's Texas, 7THX757, and this is the so-called G. He's the exact opposite of that, which is what Satan likes to do. He's a sex offender and then likes to make false and malicious assertions about another person being a sex offender. That's literally the admission of the demon possessed. When they make false allegations, they're telling you what they've done. 8UQJ918. This is the third-party male that you can see gang stalking me while Ontario Police Corey Watson and his female partner are at the counter this morning. And this is the passive-aggressive conduct and that unlawful threat, that psychological torture. That's prosecution. Literally, that image putting him in federal prison. Corey Watson's already going to federal prison. Gang stalking police officers go to federal prison. License 8UQJ918. Let me go ahead and. And what you'll see about this image of this third party's license plate is that the fake sun is right now at 10 a.m. This is exactly where it's at. It's 5:59 p.m. When I'm standing at the Euclid Avenue facing the entrance, you'll see the fake sun in the same position it is right now while the people of the state engage in gang stalking by ordering from facilitating venues like Starbucks. The following license plate, this is mental illness. Well, the psychopathic and malicious pattern of conduct is underway. License 94904X1, Ontario Police gang stalking. All right, this is how public corruption is executed, where an entity is engaged in criminal surveillance of a satanic nature, and the obvious evidence of it is a fake sun that's right in front of your face. All right, delusional psychopaths, very severely mentally ill, like Patty, who finds things like her federal imprisonment, her prosecution, she finds that humorous, and that she's going to get help for that. It's requiring mental examinations. License 7LDT539, those are those demons that are in her, causing her to laugh at things that are not humorous at all. This is, again, relevant to psychological torture that the people practice. 7JLP833. License 7ZDW186, 8TIH973. I think the test will be whether Patty finds it funny and everybody else finds it funny when they are subject to things like a raid, when they're subject to things like a federal prosecution, and the details about how they're monitoring my vagina and how they're going to answer those questions and whether there will be laughter at that inquiry. License 5DNX602, 9MKB686, RNPTAN. License 9APY925. Crossing path with engineer light. This is an African American, okay? License 9CTU934. Nothing changes about the pattern of conduct, okay? License 7EIBO49, 8FXD004, 5GJN730, 9MDP096. What you're also paying attention, 3 hours later. It's Yeah, 10:02, over 3 hours later. This is where the Ontario police were inside of the venue, monitoring, meeting, stalking with the people who are inside of the venue, terrorizing me, molesting with impossible light, engaging in their ritualistic conduct, hostility because sex offenders don't like being identified. And that's where the Ontario police are present. They're directly engaging in that. And the son is still here at the same address. In fact, it's still here on another day of documentation like yesterday until after 6 p.m. And they walk right into that crime scene. License 9NOZ413. That's impunity. They're being disbanded. They're following day and night in helicopters, and they're coming right into the Starbucks to gang stalk an American citizen in their face. License 9AAV939, 8UCP 812. License 16458B3, 8WSF 187. Engineer light while this demon is pacing up and down the street, 9NOZ413. All right, the movement of the fakes in to be over me while demons get in and out of their vehicles with engineer light is how the entity is monitoring as a population. They're a bunch of demons stalking you, including while they go in and out of venues, go to and from venues. This is what Starbucks is doing. License 8EWF035. So the entity is maintaining what you can understand then. What Starbucks has been documented engaging in, every single establishment is engaging in that. So you can call everything Starbucks in order for you to understand what the entity is committing. Everybody's doing what Starbucks is doing, stalking under a fake sun. License 8RFL814. License 9JNJ903. Engineer light while they open and close the door, holding the hand of a child, engaging in gang stalking with them, stalking, molesting with impossible light, doing so with the corrupt police department that's acting with the the failed and public failure of seeking to artificially engineer, falsely depict my character while you're gang stalking me. License 6CYR578, which is why Tracy Banks and Jason Fields are going to prison. All right, they won't be there. All of their sex rituals with each other, with men and women, they all failed. Okay, Satan cannot prevail against Christ Jesus and a child of God, a true child of God. It's not going to work. License 9SYT902. No matter how much anal sex Jason has, okay, no sodomite is going to overwhelm the power of the Holy Spirit, or the calling of God. I'm here to call out demons because you need to know that they're real, and they're engaged in criminal conduct. And I'm going to prosecute them, including expose the fact, regardless of whether you believe it or not, because what you believe is actually irrelevant because I have tangible evidence regarding that which is spiritual. So you're not reasonably disregarding it. And it's about evidence that's going to be submitted in court, and it's also going to be a matter of a prosecution. 9DYG604, 6UVR409. License 9SPW311. This whole population, every single last vehicle, they're all stalking. Because you know what they're doing, stalking with impossible light. So this is your ability to understand the truth of gang stalking. Every single last one. That's thousands of people targeting one person. This is domestic terrorism. Ontario police is being disbanded. 8MMW627, and this entire community is being prosecuted. Every single business is engaged in criminal monitoring, federal stalking. License 70620B1, that's the City of Ontario, pacing with a leaf blower. He's monitoring me. And the City of Ontario is spending resources on targeting American citizens in the way that I'm showing you. This is surveillance. He's under the fake sun using a leaf blower that stayed over Starbucks and did not move. Remember, I'm capturing images reminding you about what's happening at 10:24 a.m., what's happening at 10:30, what's happening at 10:35, and it's still over the same logo of Starbucks, not today. 5ZVK607. The audacity of these little high school graduates gang stalking at Starbucks with the Ontario police. Those demons are already surrounded with the prosecution. Those are the idiots stalking me day and night in helicopter. You incriminate yourself. If you thought you weren't going to federal prison before, you need to know you're going now. 21420E3, 7JLP833, 9EHL666. It's currently 10:06 a.m. The entire entity is prosecuted. LAPD is gang stalking me under a fake sun at Alvarado Gardens. The fake sun rises inside of my living room window over the hillside, and it sets through my bedroom window facing Alvarado Street. 9GWE855, 8ZXA940. And this is a population that engages in ritualistic pacing, monitoring my vagina. You need to know that gang stalkers are demons and they're violent sex offenders. While they give birth to children, they maintain families, and it's embedded into society that they're engaging in criminal surveillance, and they do so as families. Gang stalking, which is sexually violent, predatory conduct. That's speaking to the threat that they pose to children. Not that they're innocent or not engaged in gang stalking. It's the direct opposite of that. That's the malice of Satan that wants to appear as an angel of light. Okay? 4SYS141. It's currently 10:07 a.m. The fake sun is in stride over my head as I'm walking to another venue, which the whole population is stalking, going from place to place. As that supernatural character shown in the environment is evident of what is stalking as a gang, as a group, as an entity. License 9FRM158. This is what's so pathetic about what I'm documenting. The entity is already defeated. Satan is already defeated. When you are gang stalking, understand secrecy is the only way. The secrecy is gone. What are you doing? What are you even doing? Because you keep doing it, that doesn't make it look, you look like you're stalking. And why are you stalking in the first place? Ontario PD, gang stalking, driving north on Euclid Avenue, stalking me. With the rest of these demons, stalking with light and stalking with commercial planes. All of the city of Ontario centered around me, centered around my vagina, centered around everything that I'm stating, centered around everything I'm putting on the internet about them. This is why this entire city is going to be met with the federal government. This is exactly why. They've met their demise, and it's going to be a public one. License 9FRM158, 9GGL582, 9FIT293, African American male driving a Nissan Altima. License 67200K3. Gang stalking with Ontario Police. Those are the same demons stalking with Impossible Light. Ontario Police vehicles right in the line with all the rest of the demons stalking with Impossible Light flying into Starbucks. Ontario Police is that same population, demons stalking with light. License 7ZFB312. And two of them walked into Starbucks today and sat down under the 6:30 a.m. fake sun, chit-chatting, cheesing from ear to ear, engaging. Let me be clear, your facial expression is not less of a threat. You're looking at what's the stalker wearing, what weapons are they bearing. I don't care what your facial expressions are. This is relevant to psychological torture. This is reliance on the superficial veneer, the appearance of the thing. And the appearance is you're stalking. Ontario Police has no legitimacy. You're stalking as a gang stalking, corrupt department, and you're doing so with a smile on your face. You look like a psychopath, and you're delusional. All that evidence on the internet, the federal government already knows what you're doing. 9BTG560, 8EHD508. And I know what you're doing, so I'm giving context about the entity, the malice behind that. 9DEG236, license plate, a car full of demons, 9LAE936. Under the same fake sun that's over this, I'm at the Ontario Downtown Apartments, which is right adjacent to that parking garage. The parking garage where you saw engineer light above my head in the ceiling. What do you think all these people are doing? They're all demons, they're all stalking. 9LUA567, 7ZCF739. You already know that because the sun is not remaining over Starbucks like it was 24 hours ago. It's over me, they're all targeting, which is what the Ontario Police Department was doing. This is what the Ontario Police Department were doing. Corey Watson, a sex offender, a kidnapper, inherently threatening, not only because you're a gang stalking corrupt agency, but you're a gang stalking agency with a reputation, a documented pattern of kidnapping pursuant to malicious assertions. Okay? Not arresting me pursuant to what is a violation of the law when you're not stalking me, but making up information while you're stalking to commit kidnapping. License 6RJS794. He's going to federal prison. License plate 4CWC172, 6ZLU182. These are demons with all manner of engineer light all beside their vehicles. This wacky conduct, all right, this Looney Tune character circus-like environment, it's because they're raging psychopaths and they're stalking. It's demonic. This is what gang stalking is, and it's domestic terrorism in the entire city of Ontario. You know what Paul Leon is? He's a demon-possessed gang stalking mayor. That's an oxymoron. He's a gang stalking pastor. That's an oxymoron. He's a demon. He's not a real pastor. 8JZR891. License 9TRN034. 4CWC172. All under a fake sun that's over OVITT Family Community Library, where it was nowhere near here yesterday. Contrary to what I'm documenting, when I compare what happens day to day when stalkers pursue you under a fake sun. And they're doing this on behalf of the demon-infected agency, Ontario Police Department, under the corrupt sex offender monitoring my vagina through that entire corrupt agency. Every single last one of them, whatever department that they're in, the Ontario Police is full of demons. So is the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. So is the Los Angeles Police Department. So is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. All right, they're all demons. Satan has had his hand, he's got these demons in a chokehold, and now I'm prosecuting them. And I'm also letting you know that they are not just criminals and corrupt, they are demon possessed. All right, and their criminal conduct is demonic. All right, it's currently 10:12 a.m. The fake sun is over the OVITT Family Community Library, it was nowhere near here yesterday. And this is where the entity is targeting with planes, clearly engaging in the pattern of conduct where Paul Leon is going to be removed for being a gang stalker, a terrorist, a stalker, and a sex offender, monitoring my vagina inside of this same OVITT Family Community Library where the sun is still here like I documented at 5:59 in the afternoon. This is P.O.C. All right, license plate. Stalking in the path under the fake sun, OHNYOS. This is an entity that's stalking as a whole city while the fake sun's no longer sitting over a Starbucks on Euclid, never going beyond East Street and Euclid Avenue. 8 BHM 456, and you're seeing it sitting over 215 EC Street where a whole bunch of demons are stalking. 8 ZJU 515, and this is your ability to see Satan in plain sight, plain view. All right, and stalking. Satan's not just being exposed, Satan's being reported to the feds for engaging in criminal surveillance. 7UXM 283, 7VBJ 471, 8ZTG 598, 7LZP 585. You're seeing the asinity of the fake sun through the window above the staircase at 215 EC Street. The entity has the fake sun sitting over the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. And last year, LAPD's gang stalking through the Hallmark using helicopters targeting me day and night while the entity kept the fake sun from sunrise till sunset over the top of my head in the same manner in LA. 9NVG 416. And in addition, while it's over the elevator, still I arrived at 10, okay? So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And as I walk outside, the fake sun is remaining over me as I walk around the building. This is the parking lot as I'm documenting the people of the state who are all stalking. And this is revealing their mental illness. The demon possessed are obsessively monitoring while they're stalking in the path. 9 LOW 457, not minding their business, not strangers, targeting. License 8YOU037. And the fake sun immediately moves from being over the elevator, which is stalking with the fake sun as I move inside of the venue, to being over the back parking lot. Okay? This is the prosecution of the state of California. The city of Ontario is the OVITT Family Community Library gang stalking. License 8WUD815, KF165, that's handicap, 8MJE673, 9NXX029, 9RBW860, 9MFD410, 7ZLW345, 29228Y1, 7CYX190, 7EJV108, 9HWA291, 9KGS930, 8KAG896, 9TGZ839. This is a Nevada plate, M243. A disabled veteran is engaged in criminal surveillance, and this is a demon associated with the military. There is no respect of person. They're engaged in criminal conduct, un-American criminal conduct, terrorism, in fact. While they're gloating about the fact of being a veteran, there is no honor. I don't give any respect to any demon engaging in this criminal pattern of conduct, which is also sexually violent. All right, it's government conduct, and there are many of those that are in the military that I documented gang stalking me. And this disabled veteran is under the fake sun engaging in what is this criminal monitoring system, which is entirely un-American. They bring, in other words, shame to the military forces while they put that on their license plate for me to document. License M243, Nevada. License 8GZV696, 6SCZ923. A demon from Cal Poly Pomona, where I'm documenting the fake sun in Pomona. Don't forget about my documentation where the entity's keeping the fake sun over the Starbucks in Pomona, California. And Cal Poly Pomona is a bunch of demons gang stalking at an institution that's engaging in this pattern of conduct as well. License 9JVL110, 7LSB604, gang stalking by sitting in the car, hot day, fake sun over, engaging what is ruling to engage in what is hypothermia, just to make sure that they're stalking in the path under a fake sun that's not over Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. License 9DKL242, 9PMP781, 8JTG880, 6YRY408. This puts everything that they're doing into context. This isn't looking for a parking space. These are psychopaths monitoring my vagina, and they're cutting off, meaning they're surrounding in the path. That's why the fake sun is over this parking lot. License 45744B2, 9FXD241. That's why you're sitting in your car on a hot day in the summer waiting to start your ignition. That's a psychopath stalking with audible activity, sitting in their car stalking. They're also doing this while they are, as a city, aware of when my panties are down in the bathroom, and they're stalking with noise and stalking with engineered light. They're all inside of that library that you see right now, those images that I'll be uploading to the Google Drive. It's 1:04 p.m. So they're all sitting around on laptops, on computer desktops, and working at the venue in engineered light. They all have multiple shadows. They're all monitoring. License 7HPF 865, a bunch of demons. It's pathetic. Now you're aware of what they're doing. You've been aware if you've been paying attention, but I'm able to put everything in proper perspective when you look at the asininity of keeping a fake sun over one building, and they're centering their gang stalking conduct around buying coffee. I'll prosecute that corrupt company, Starbucks. It's a sex offender. They got a bunch of imps in there monitoring me, and every single last one of them will go to federal prison. And Patty won't be laughing about it. 5HDV555, 8F46942. 6PTP309, 8UAD514, QUIZZZY, 9KSW435, 8DYN688, 7KCS074, 7TFY586, 208227H3. Another demon stalking in the path while the entity is rising in elevation over the Ontario City Hall where Paul Leon is gang stalking with this demon 20473K3. P.O.C. 9JZA952. Let me show you the fake sun while the fake sun's over me. Alaska Airlines. Oh no, Amazon Prime is gang stalking.
Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes, and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state. And it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state.
That is Amazon Prime. There's no Terminal 2, Terminal 4 over here. And you know that they're stalking me because the fake sun is over 215 U.S.C Street, the same library where Corey Watson commits kidnapping at 10:29 in the morning. And you have what is the unnatural environment that the sun would be over the same venue. And it also is not the natural environment while you're looking at stalkers that are surrounding in the path. They're moving all around in the engineered light. This is light activity while they're walking and driving and creating amplified plane activity where there's no terminals, where you will be taken off over the College of Laverne, University of Law, a gang stalker, a corrupt institution, and the Paul Leon's City Hall, a gang stalker, a corrupt body of government, where the entity is targeting. And targeting is recognized through the asininity of keeping a fake sun. Just 24 hours ago, it's sitting, as you saw, all the demons at Starbucks, 507 North Euclid Avenue, engaging in surveillance in a coffee shop. That's how pathetic they are. And it's also pathetic because they're monitoring my vagina in Ontario, California. And that's why Paul Leon's being removed from office. That's why the Ontario police is being disbanded. That's why Corey Watson's going to federal prison. Gang stalking her fake son at 6:30 in the morning. Him and his partner. All right, this is the same street. Big picture, same street. The fake son's gone nowhere. 0.4 miles is where the Starbucks is at. The sun is in ongoing constant movement. How was the sun in Florida when I'm on the same street that I was at 6:30 in the morning, and the entity keeps the fake sun until after 6 p.m. where you see the Ontario police gang stalking at this same property where the fake sun is right here over this parking garage as I walk out of the same entrance of the library. This is gang stalking. Amazon Prime is a gang stalker. They hire demons. Mr. Bezos is a wealthy demon engaged in corruption, monitoring American citizens through his corrupt business. The demon possessed are driving Amazon vehicles. They're molesting with impossible light. This is documented video evidence that I have on the record. Every company in California is engaged in this surveillance, and it's satanic. And that's why a demon is flying an Amazon Prime Air plane while the fake sun is over me, evidence of stalking me, gang stalking, and also doing so in a manner over University of Laverne. There's no terminals over here where you're rising in elevation, taking off here. This is the unintelligent conduct of stalking. The entity is doing this at the TABOR Professional Building in engineer light. This is P.O.C. It's currently 1:08 p.m. Remember, the entity's keeping the fakes on over me at 1:07 p.m. at 507 North Euclid Avenue yesterday. And yesterday at 1:08 p.m. in 2024, the Los Angeles Police Department is gang stalking me while I'm driving on Sunset Boulevard, and the fake sun is in the same manner over my sunroof while I'm driving on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. This is P.O.C. All right, it is currently, again, 1:08 p.m. License plate 5DXY005. The video you just listened to is evidence of the people of the state acting by a third-party Amazon Prime, gang stalking in a commercial plane, and doing so under the fake sun that's not idle over the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue, and it's also not over 4401 or anywhere near 4401 Sunset Boulevard like the LAPD is doing, clearly gang stalking me in particular, while I am capturing the fake sun over my vehicle on June 29, 2024 at 1:08 p.m. License 8KVJ162, 8UGD 406, 7XQS 865, 7PLW 090, 8MEP 013. The people of the state are gang stalking, just like the Ontario Police Department has already established on their own by being psychopaths who cannot control themselves, and they're immediately triggered, and their triggering results in terrorism, stalking me in helicopters and flying in circles, exhibiting their mental illness apart from stalking me in a helicopter in the first place. 9TOB 313, 9PER 720. This is the fake sun that's over 215 EC Street, Ontario, California 91764, where the entity has the fake sun as I exit the same entrance at 6 o'clock in the evening. 40518W2, acting with the city of Ontario, gang stalking with the corrupt police, all obsessed with my vagina, psychopaths pacing around under a fake sun, a mentally sick population being exposed for the witchcraft practicing, all right, for all their sex rituals, while they seek to profit off of the demise of American citizens that they together target. And this entity is engaging in what is this corrupt system, which is revealing surveillance. All right, this is demonic activity exposed, and this demonic activity is criminal. Criminal. License 8UYG670 and 6V70499, 9GPP240. And the demon possessed are so obsessed, they run as fast as they can into a federal case. They do it all the time. License plate. License 8MJC624 and 7ZAC606. All right, the demon possessed that are working at OVITT Family Community Library, they're state actors. That's the City of Ontario gang stalking at a facilitating venue. 6CCX601. And they're sex offenders engaging in criminal facilitation, monitoring me, engaging in what is tracking my steps. This is how you have the Ontario Police Department under the fake sun at 1:07 p.m. as I arrive to the venue, and the fake sun is already, the fake sun is remaining over me as I arrive, and they are stalking in the path, communicating an unlawful threat by this kidnapper, the City of Ontario. Gang stalking with that band of demons standing in a circle under the fake sun. All right, but it's already here as I arrived earlier today, and as I stay at another venue, you're looking at how it doesn't come anywhere near the OVITT Family Community Library. They're stalking, they're demons. It's P.O.C. It's currently 1:11 p.m. where mothers and daughters and sons, families are engaging in gang stalking, psychopathic conduct, which is government action. This is P.O.C. This is public corruption, and it's disgusting. It's nauseating. The City of Ontario engaging in the P.O.C. in the private space under the specific environment that you already saw at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in my arrival, in direct contravention of common sense, science, nature, etc. Blatant stalking by the entity, and it's including in the bathroom. And so the entity has males that are stalking around the bathroom space. These are the violent sex offenders. Females are sex offenders as well. I just want to be clear, the entity is using males in particular to maintain surveillance, presence, stalking around in the bathroom, and also going into stalking me while walking in front of me in engineer light, moving as I move. That's a stalker. Going into the male's restroom to be in alignment, stalking in the path, stalking outside of the bathroom, and that's what you'll see reflected. And they're all walking in engineer light monitoring, and this is including OVITT Family Community Library staff, a bunch of sex offenders. This is the perpetual sex offense at 5:22 p.m. This is the disbanding of the Ontario Police, incentivizing sexual violence amongst an entity that's gang stalking together. This is P.O.C. Um, 7AHP966. They are waiting for me. That's stalking, and it's terrorizing. They're waiting for me to walk past as I'm on F Street and Euclid. These are demons, psychopaths aiming light. Okay, so in the dark parking lot, they're just sitting there aiming light toward me, demons, and they're engaging in what is waiting for me in order to then drive by, which is stalking conduct as well. And you have a full parking lot. A full parking lot. This parking lot is always empty. And I should take it upon myself to go ahead and document all of them. License 8VYZ952. Because this whole parking lot is waiting for me stalking. License 68544C4. License 9HOV170. 7JWY936. 8LWN936. 9TMX301. 9ECK239. 7HSA942. What does the state do when they're gang stalking you? Surround you with a bunch of people. 8LKL811. They're all stalking together. It's group stalking. This is the tactic here. This parking lot is always empty. License DL21G50. That's a paper plate. License 6WPP133. 9AMC828. 8UWF896. Looks like B or 8. 8AUL180. 9EOJ924. And it's 9:02 p.m. at Laurel and F Street, where the Ontario International Airport is gang stalking. I'm being molested with light at the Aegis Treatment Center, where the Ontario police are gang stalking, following me around as I'm walking. This is where the entity is maintaining light right here on this side street. So the entity is doing it by a group of demons that are filling the parking lot. 9UEY523. 7VME679. 9SQS444. Fake moons over my head following from the library. I took a picture of it. EE48MO2, that's a paper plate. 9LWG613. 9NTM635. 5PSN933. And Laurelwood Apartments is gang stalking the entire apartment complex. 8ZES257. License 59079V2, in case I didn't read that one already. 5PJL147. Remember what the entity is doing. I'm documenting every night as I walk over here the demons that are molesting with impossible light at the 130 West G Street, the Asian male and the female sitting in the parking lot stalking. And as I get in, as he is stalking, waiting, while he's across the street, I'm molested with impossible light activity by a terrorist, a stalker. And these are the ones that are monitoring my vagina. The entity that's monitoring my vagina engages in what is late night molestation everywhere that I'm going while they're stalking with light. Gang stalking. This is where they're maintaining light, doing it under the guise of whatever they call this. They can have a picnic. They can have a birthing ceremony. They can host a wedding. Guess what it is? Elements of monitoring under the fake sun. And at night, the fake moon, where people aren't even focused on marrying each other. They're still gang stalking me. License on this 9:04 p.m. I'm 8CEB714. License 7ZTS232, excuse me. All right, sitting in the parking lot, aiming toward the opposite side of the street, just like the couple was the other night, molesting with impossible light. License 9SEJ503. And this is a Nissan, just some old raggedy Nissan, just stalking in the middle of the dark parking lot. Yeah, that's license 6LRU448. 9NEU037. 9SNM496. 6FTY444. And the gym at 130 West G Street. That gym is a gang stalking establishment. They're open right now. The people of the state are monitoring. And so is Pizza Hut at 715 North Euclid Avenue. And the entity, that parking lot I just walked through, they're all creating light activity, gang stalking together. 76015D4, 6AKZ796, 8PZW377, 8YMF550. And this is the establishment that engaged in threatening me. The Ontario police flew over my head while Nathan, assuming he already knew everything that was going on with my phone, which if you're not gang stalking, then you wouldn't. 8WNN642, especially just by virtue of the facts of me holding my phone and being in operation of it like all the demons are. All right, but they're acting like paranoid schizophrenics while they're monitoring your evidence. All right, and engaging what is threatening me, and doing so with the Ontario Police. This is where they're stalking with light right now. 8VGC200, 7JKV390, 8BGM682, 9KBD375, 7ZFM695, 6LYJ482. This is the city of Ontario that's still gang stalking, engaging in the terrorism of stalking, lurking in the night, ominous stalking with aiming light while they're monitoring you. This is the government's criminal conduct. It's domestic terrorism, and it's also relevant for what is a sex offense. This is what they're doing in Starbucks all day long while this same population is pacing on Euclid under a 12-hour fake sun. 9LNF008, 8SBF551, 9AQB540. Title 18 federal stalking, 9SPH814. Every single last one is relevant for what is federal cases, but also it's relevant for the numerosity with regard to the government gang stalking. All right, everybody living on G Street, everybody living on Laurel, everybody living on F Street, everybody in relevant position is gang stalking while I'm reading license plates, okay? The entire neighborhood. As I'm documenting the people of the state, this is P.O.C. It's currently 9:07 p.m. This is mental illness. The mentally ill are stalking with light. This is terrorism while they are engaged in gang stalking. And their gang stalking, which is fully exposing the state of California as it's filled with a mentally sick population that practices this system, as I'm exposing it everywhere that I'm at in the state of California. And it's also relevant to exposing mental illness that needs to be known. All right, it needs to be exposed because it does serve a threat to the public. RG947 handicap, 8LPD612. CR018 handicap, and 8Z, I can't really see that one, 8ZGS or 5ZQS128. And it is 9:08 p.m. This stalking with light behavior, it's admission to criminal monitoring. That's literally the significance of it. The light it occurs in a supernatural manner. That's an admission to monitoring, and it's occurring in the specific environment, which is supernatural, i.e. the fake sun over the target individual all day, the fake moon, as I've documented, at night. That's an admission to criminal monitoring. That's how you're going to legally analyze. And it gives you context when you're investigating law enforcement agencies who are corrupt, who are gang stalkers, like the Ontario Police, who would assert nothing suspicious is going on. It was a normal investigation with regard to the death that, we could not solve. It was an accident or whatever they're claiming. And your knowledge about the criminal monitoring is speaking to what is PC to investigate because they're corrupt. And that's a legal conclusion that you can make based on the surveillance that's underway. 4RKW785, 8HNC933. They've exposed their own hand. They've exposed it. 7BYT014, 7CEU067, 8LUS726. It literally provides the feds probable cause to investigate any city, any state, because of what's going on. So in case you did not get that, I don't know if that's something that, but well, you know what? I take that back. It's my job to tell everything, so I'm telling you everything. There are no secrets. So that is a basis to investigate any state. If you're ever searching for legal jurisdiction, because the feds have to have jurisdiction, criminal surveillance is jurisdiction for any state to investigate because surveillance. They're not ignorant. They're not ignorant. 53993A4. It's 9:10 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, license 9LJK101. That's unit 41. They're parked across the street at the 7-Eleven. Just like his brother was gang stalking me at the U.S. Bank under the fake sun. He's not in his vehicle right now, but the vehicle is parked here. He's still gang stalking at Woodside Senior Apartments. That entire apartment complex is always engaged in the P.O.C. 7UDM337. 6JPU628. This is 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine, and a demon is in the front, stalking with light, aiming light on the store. 9TND516, and they're doing that in the engineer light, and the fake moon is right over me. This is P.O.C. It is 9:12 p.m.